few weeks ago, allegedly, BlackRock just bought 50,000 homes at $300,000 each, then sold 3 to themselves for $700K. Your neighbor's value just doubled overnight, and you can't afford to live there anymore. They're stealing the American dream because BlackRock, step one, how they do this, they identify middle-class neighborhoods with growth potential, right? Step two, they buy hundreds of homes in cash, 20 to 30% above asking price. Imagine being that guy putting your shit on listing, and it's like, oh no, we'll buy 30% more. I ain't saying no to that. I'm out that neighborhood. Imagine the HOA screwing you over and you're like, I'm out of here. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, peace.
Step 3, regular families can't compete with unlimited corporate cash. Why? Because step 4, once they control enough inventory, they sell a few homes to shell companies that they already own. Those inflated sale prices become the new market rate. Step 6, your property taxes, and this is where it's crazy. Your property taxes triple based on these fake sales. So the family that saved for 10 years to buy their first home, outbid by a corporation with infinite money. The elderly couple who owned their home for 40 years, forced out by property taxes they can't afford. Meanwhile, and this is where all the good money comes in for them, BlackRock rents these homes back to the same families they priced out. The rent is $2,500 monthly. The former mortgage payment would have been $1,800. They created the problem.
Let's get into the grit of this story and break it all the way down. Over the last few weeks, social media has been on fire with viral claims. BlackRock, the trillion-dollar institutional asset manager, supposedly buying 50,000 homes, jacking up the prices by selling a handful of houses to themselves through shell games, and in doing so, literally dismantling the American dream for regular folks. The assertion is that BlackRock and Wall Street have such a giant and sinister playbook, a Bond villain's playbook, for taking over the single-family home market. Let's address what the clip laid out. BlackRock allegedly buys up entire neighborhoods, often paying 20 to 30% over asking price with cash. Once they control enough homes, they manipulate the market by selling to their own shell companies at inflated prices, setting the new benchmark value and subsequently inflating property taxes. The long-standing homeowner finds themselves priced out through tax hikes or unable to compete when looking to buy. Meanwhile, rents soar, and the very people shut out of the market end up renting back from the corporate entity that locked them out in the first place. First, let's separate fact from fiction. Despite viral narratives, most mainstream and financial sources show BlackRock is not actually buying up single-family homes in the way described by recent threats. BlackRock, by its own disclosures and per government records, operates as an asset manager for clients rather than owning large housing stock directly. The much-quoted buying 50,000 homes story confuses BlackRock with Blackstone, a private equity company, and plays on mistrust of Wall Street. That said, confusion does not render the underlying pain and reality for many Americans, particularly Black Americans, any less real. The effects of concentrated capital in the real estate market is a real trauma, even if the specific villain is misnamed. Because so often these viral stories go surface deep and miss the deeper, ugly truth. Whether it's BlackRock, Blackstone, Vinebrook, or some other Wall Street mega fund, the bottom line is that institutional and corporate investors own a growing share of rental homes and multifamily properties, especially in majority Black cities and booming southern metros. The real squeeze isn't just about some clickbait conspiracy. It's about what happens when regular working Americans, but especially Black folks who are already behind in wealth accumulation, are locked out. Generational wealth for Black families has always been systematically obstructed. You take away the house, you take away what little many Black families hope to build as a legacy. This is exactly what happened after 2008, when hedge funds and private equity snapped up foreclosed homes in Atlanta, Detroit, Memphis, and beyond, setting the new normal for the coming decades. What does all that mean for the real American dream? Intergenerational mobility is crushed. The data shows Black homeownership rates have stagnated and rental rates are rising faster than wage growth, especially in neighborhoods with significant Black populations. Local communities lose control of their neighborhoods. When distant Wall Street firms are landlords, basic repairs take weeks and families are disposable. Decision-making moves even further away from those affected. a false crisis masking a real crisis. The problem isn't that BlackRock is in reality buying every home, it's that the broader system allows for capital, often born out of the labor and losses of Black people, to recycle through finance, displacing the same group it profited from. America has not just failed to close the racial wealth gap, it is actively innovating new ways to widen it. Whether it's BlackRock, Blackstone, or dozens of smaller REITs and SFR holding companies, the story is always the same. Cash buys, market manipulation, manufactured scarcity, and regular buyers, especially Black buyers, locked out by design. Viral outrage isn't enough. We need policy, bold policy, restorative justice, reparatory housing credits, and limits on corporate bulk home purchasing before an entire generation becomes permanent renters in a country they've invested in for centuries. So, the next time you see a headline about BlackRock buying all the homes, don't just ask if it's true. Ask why so many people are ready to believe it. That's the real editorial, the fragile illusion of property rights for Black America shattered by the sledgehammer of global finance.